Our viewers, I'm today here in the company of a couple of would-be readers of the Essentials of Civilization. I'm here with Mr. Riaga and Mr. Brian, and we're just going to find out what is their feeling about the Essentials of Civilization. So you're welcome, gentlemen, to ask questions or just share your thoughts about Essentials of Civilization.
Thank you. Okay. So, Mr. Olo, this is a nice work. It's actually, personally, I've been wondering about civilization, especially in the African context. You see, look at Africa. Reality is we are at the lowest when we are ranked on the civilization ladder. So I've just been asking, what is it that is the problem with an African? Is it that we have a low IQ because of IQ tests have been administered, and probably they say that the reason why Africans perform lower is because the set questions don't favor the African mindset and something like that, and their cultural background. Or is it morality? Is it the character? So for this book, you tend to say that it is the character that really matters. So can you really tell us whether this is what has made Africa and the African person be on the lowest? Is it that our character, the way of saying this, a chapter here saying that the Roman civilization collapsed because of their immorality. So is there there's an immorality of an African culture that has made them be on the lowest in the ranking in the land?
Thank you very much, and a wonderful question there, Benard Riaga. I want to say very categorically, there's an answer specifically to that question in this book. The chapter is entitled Freedom to be an African. And the reason why I bring that out, I talk about freedom to be an African, is because there was an illustration that amazed me of a young footballer who was online. It was on one of these platforms, international platforms on the Facebook or social media. And this guy was doing marvelous skills with the ball. And so there was underneath the writing that accompanied that was, "This is the next Ronaldo." And then my friend commented on that and said, if this was Africa, they would tell him, "You stop playing, go and read." And then it hit me. This guy is already doing all those things at 10 years old. He's got the best coaching that will ever be possible. He's got the right environment for him to be able to express his skills. And yet we are going to play the World Cup. That person and the African who by this time is told, "Don't play, go and read." And then they'll be identified at the age of 14, where they've started playing at secondary school level. That's when the first African is identified. And when they're identified, what happens? Now they are put into a little bit, not even a semi, a quarter bit of training and professional coaching. So by the time these people meet at the world stage, they are at 10 years different. They are 10 years apart. Why? Because there is it seems in a sense that there's no freedom to be African. I'm simply saying that we must come to a point of embracing all that we are in totality without being told to just stop playing and go reading. If someone is very skilled in playing, unless we are saying that Africans, you don't participate in the World Cup, unless we are saying that don't come to the world stage. So there are many examples that I portray in the book that really, really define the reason why African is at the place where it is. And I believe that with the change of mindset in the things that I discuss in this book, we can be able to move Africa even beyond where it's been so far. So thank you for a wonderful question.
That's nice. I also have a question. We talk about civilization at large, but you find out that in Africa, what is mostly eating us as a continent is about the issue of corruption. So according to the way you have explained, you've touched about corruption. So how detailed do you think this issue about corruption should be dealt with so that we can achieve that civilization? We can talk about the countries that you have mentioned, like the US of A, like Amsterdam. So how can we be like them?
So thank you. Another wonderful question from you. And I just want to say that there is an answer, and the chapter is entitled Corruption or Motivators of Corruption and How to Rebuff Them. I go deeper to look at what really motivates corruption. and I list all those things that motivate corruption. You'll be surprised, but one of the things that motivate corruption, I say in that book, is the time factor. Time in what sense? Time in this sense that I know I need a service from you, you're a government institution, and you're telling me maybe it's going to take me 2 weeks to be able to get my visa. But then I come there today and I want it tomorrow. So what will we do? You say, okay, if that is the case, let me give you something small so that I can be able to process this much quickly. It is not bad to fasten things per se, but why did I have to wait until it is the last minute so that I come for my visa? And why is it that we want things to be that instant? The reason can be traced back to what we call the reward principle, reward value system. Now, we're in a country where if you have a graduate of who has earned a doctorate at 22, everyone needs to know. And we push everyone to think that is what ought to happen. But those are unique cases. They are 0.00 something percent. We're not motivated when someone through hard work at the age of 50s earns his PhD, or through hard work, a company is able to get good value for their bottom line and become registered at the Nairobi Stock Exchange. We are concerned and fascinated about the young man who at 26 is earning a 6-figure digit. What communication are we making to the rest of the people? We are making the young men think, unless you do that, then you are not someone. But I'm saying that every single person has his own path. And so that is one of the motivators of corruption. There are several that I mentioned in the book. And then I say, how can we rebuff them? So that question about how can we make this society better, you find that in the place of how can we rebuff them. One of the things that we can actually really do to be able to rebuff corruption is to be able to understand that corruption takes more away from us than it gives back, essentially. Because of corruption, for example, there's a very good story, and Mark Bichachi mentioned it on his Facebook page recently, that it's a very long story, I won't go all the way. But if I have a cow and I milk the cow and I bring the milk to the market and I just placed it somewhere for you to just come and buy it and then leave the money there, you know it can work perfectly well. It works like places like in the Netherlands, it happens like that. You don't have to be there to sell your milk. But in our context, if I did that, someone would come, either steal the whole milk or take a little bit of the milk and put in water. What happens next? I must put someone now to guard. So there's more money I need to pay to guard someone. And this person I put to guard may do the same thing. So what happens? I put someone else to assess or to be able to be in charge of the person I put in the first place. Where is the money coming from? We must find ways to create that money, and that is through corruption. So I agree with you. This is a very pertinent topic today, and I believe that the way that I addressed it in that book covers that challenge properly. Thank you. Our viewers, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm here with Anne. Anne Buru is the best-selling author of, Anne mentioned the book again?
Rise Above Your
Rise
Past.
Above Your Past.
Mm-hmm.
Anne has been an inspiration to me a lot of times, and part of the inspiration that comes into writing this book, she contributed massively.
Mm-hmm.
So Anne, you've read Essentials of Civilization. Yes. In terms of its formative stages.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that you want to share with viewers out there concerning this book?
I want to first of all begin by appreciating God for seeing you this far. I know how the journey has been, and congratulations for doing a good work. And what I love most about the book is actually the caption down here: Africa's quest for civilization and why your voice is the missing link.
Sure.
Someone said that the world is not bad because of the many bad people that we have, but it is because of the many good people who are quiet, who are silent.
Sure.
So if you think something is wrong, then speak about it.
Thank you.
Bring your voice out.
Sure.
That is what will make a difference.
Good.
Yeah.
And I believe that maybe from where I stand, the essential civilization is what gives me the platform where
True.
I really speak the things
Very
that,
true.
from very deep within.
Mm.
So apart from that caption, what else do you feel you want to convey to our readers concerning this book?
I want to urge every Kenyan and every reader of this book out here. Ben is challenging us that if you think something is wrong, don't be that good Kenyan who just want to keep quiet. Bring it out. Let us know. Highlight it. Let you go into the books of history for having talked about it. It may have never been implemented, but your voice was heard.
Sure.
So bring it out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
In terms of the inspiration that you get out of this, apart from that, what else would you like our viewers or our readers to to appreciate about the book as they read it?
The spirit of resilience as you bring it out. I've read your stories, how you got yourself stuck somewhere. Was it in
That is
Ghana
in
or
Ghana.
where? Yeah.
Ghana Accra International Airport.
Yes.
Sure.
And I love the way you remained resilient despite hardships, despite everything working against you.
Yeah.
And like a true Kenyan, the spirit of a true Kenyan,
Yeah.
you remained resilient and you wanted to let all of us know that it can be done,
Sure.
no matter how difficult it is. There's always a way
Sure.
where there's a way.
As you read this book, does it give you a sense of the fact that Kenyans can have an opportunity, they can have a chance at life and at prosperity, or at civilization, as it were?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Civilization will not happen if you do not come out and believe that you have a chance.
Okay.
No matter how little it could seem to be, that little ability is what you need to bring on board, because that is what God wants you to maximize
Sure.
and bring civilization.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In part of your review, I remember you mentioned a very critical point about working smart. A lot of Kenyans are gearing towards working smart and, working hard. And from the way that you see it presented in this book,
Yeah.
what could you say to the audience?
I want to say that as much as I believe in working smart,
Yeah, sure.
to me, working smart comes second after working hard.
Sure.
Actually, if you read the Bible, the Lord talks about working hard,
Yeah.
hard workers.
Sure.
Because if you look at our country today, the people who seem to have made it,
Sure.
making it in quotes, are those who are perceived to have worked smart.
Yeah, sure.
But working smart in, if you look at the means by which they got what they have today, are not the right ones.
Sure.
So they may have appeared to have made it working in the name of working smart, yet they never worked hard.
Sure.
Show me your hard work,
Sure.
then I will be interested in knowing how smart
Much
you
you
are.
are.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Anna aptly put it.
Mm.
So, my readers, you are out there. If you've not grabbed a copy of this book,
Yeah.
it is your chance. Let me just reiterate, the launch is going to be on the 6th of April at the University of Nairobi Towers, that is in Nairobi. So all of you are welcome to come in.
Yeah.
It's only going to cost 1,500, and that's inclusive of refreshment and a copy of the book autobiographed by me. And you have a chance to meet people like Anne who've been in the audience. You will meet people like Dr. Wale, Akinyemi, the brains behind, Club Intelligentsia and all these very great African minds.
Yeah.
You'll meet people like Mark Bichachi, you see him on your screens from time to time. So please, you must come to KICC to help with the launch of this book, and indeed grab a copy for yourself. In case you want to get in touch, I'll give you my phone number at 0725 817 520. And if you want to WhatsApp, which is another good way of communicating, you can do that on 0708 09 3487. Thank you. And let me see what is your feedback as you go through this book. God bless you.